The signal. The message arrived on a quiet Tuesday morning at SETI's primary listening station in New Mexico. Dr. Sarah Chen had been reviewing the night's data when her algorithms flagged something unprecedented, a perfectly structured signal emanating from the Carina constellation. Within hours, every major observatory on Earth confirmed the same finding. Humanity was not alone. The signal's contents were clear and deliberate, an invitation from something calling itself the Galactic Concordat, a coalition of spacefaring civilizations extending an offer of contact. They provided coordinates for a meeting point, along with what appeared to be standard protocols for first contact situations. Their message carried an unmistakable tone of patronizing benevolence, as though addressing a child who had finally learned to walk. But humanity had changed in the decades leading up to this moment. While the world's governments publicly acknowledged the message with appropriate diplomatic responses, deep beneath the ice of Antarctica, Project Prometheus was already underway. Admiral James Martinez stood in the vast underground chamber, watching as engineers made final adjustments to humanity's response. The HSV Prometheus wasn't just a ship, it was a statement. They're expecting a primitive species fumbling its way to the stars, he said to Dr. Chen, who had been brought into the project after her discovery. They have no idea what we've achieved in silence. The Prometheus defied conventional understanding of physics. Its hull, composed of metamaterials developed through quantum engineering, could bend light and other forms of electromagnetic radiation around itself. Its drive system utilized controlled microsingularities, allowing for manipulation of space-time itself rather than crude propulsion. The ship's AI core, quantum entangled throughout its structure, could process information and react to threats faster than any biological being. Its defensive systems were equally revolutionary, fields of probabilistic interference that could literally edit incoming attacks out of existence. But most importantly, it was massive, not through necessity, but by design. Where alien civilizations had pursued efficiency and minimalism, humanity had built a colossus. The Prometheus stretched 3 kilometers from bow to stern, its obsidian surface drinking in light like a hole torn in space itself. As the final preparations were made, the world's leaders gathered in the facility's command center. The Chinese premier spoke first. For centuries, humanity has looked to the stars and wondered if we were alone. Now we know we're not. But we will not enter the galactic stage as supplicants or children. The U.S. president nodded in agreement. The Concordat expects to find a primitive species grateful for their guidance. Instead, they will meet humanity as we truly are, innovative, determined, and unbound by their expectations. Dr. Chen watched as the Prometheus's systems came online, its quantum core awakening with possibilities that even its creators couldn't fully comprehend. "We've done more than build a ship," she said softly. "We've built a declaration." The launch would be silent, hidden from the eyes of the galaxy. No radio signals, no visible exhaust, nothing that would betray the true nature of humanity's technological advancement. The Prometheus would simply appear at the designated coordinates, letting its presence speak for itself. As the massive launch doors began to open above the facility, Admiral Martinez turned to his crew. "They think they're coming to guide a young species into a greater community. Instead, they're about to meet humanity at its finest, not as students eager to learn, but as equals ready to reshape the very nature of galactic civilization." The Prometheus rose silently through the Antarctic night, its dark form briefly blocking out the stars before seeming to fade from existence entirely. Humanity's response to first contact was underway, and the galaxy would never be the same. Project Titan. The true scope of Project Titan, the initiative that birthed the Prometheus, had remained Earth's most closely guarded secret for over 2 decades. While the world's governments publicly focused on traditional space programs, a hidden coalition of Earth's brightest minds had been pushing the boundaries of known physics. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the project's lead physicist, remembered the day everything changed. She had been working on quantum field manipulations when her team achieved the impossible. They created a stable microsingularity the size of a proton. That breakthrough became the cornerstone of the Prometheus's revolutionary drive system. In parallel, Dr. Marcus Webb's team in South Africa had cracked the code of consciousness transfer, developing the quantum neural networks that would become the ship's brain. The AI they created wasn't just smart. It was a new form of intelligence, one that could think in multiple dimensions and manipulate probability itself. The Prometheus's hull was another miracle of human ingenuity. Dr. Isabella Santos had combined metamaterials with quantum-entangled particles to create a surface that could actively rewrite its own properties. The ship could become harder than neutron star matter or phase through solid objects, all controlled by its quantum consciousness. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Project Titan was its secrecy. While the world's attention focused on conventional space programs and political dramas, thousands of scientists and engineers worked in hidden facilities across the globe. They communicated through quantum-encrypted channels, their very existence erased from public records. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, the project's central facility hummed with activity. Holographic displays showed the Prometheus's progress as it moved silently through the solar system. Its stealth systems were perfect. Not even the most advanced Earth-based sensors could detect it. Admiral Martinez stood with his command staff, watching the data streams. "Status report," he commanded. "All systems nominal." "Admiral," reported Commander Sarah Chen, recently promoted to serve as the ship's science officer. "The quantum core is stable, and our probability field is maintaining full coverage. We're completely invisible to conventional detection methods." The Admiral nodded, his expression grave. "And our special packages?" Dr. Tanaka stepped forward, her holographic display showing a series of complex equations. "The singularity weapons are stable, though I pray we never need them. Each one carries enough power to rearrange the molecular structure of a small moon." The Prometheus carried other surprises too. Its laboratories could synthesize new elements on demand. Its manufacturing centers could produce technologies that most of the galaxy would consider impossible. It was more than a ship. It was humanity's testament to the power of innovation and determination. As the vessel approached the orbit of Jupiter, its quantum core detected something interesting: faint traces of artificial signals, ancient and barely detectable. The ship's AI analyzed them in microseconds, confirming what some had long suspected. Humanity wasn't the first civilization to arise in the solar system. This discovery only strengthened their resolve. The Galactic Concordat might think they were coming to guide a young species, but humanity had already unlocked secrets they couldn't imagine. The Prometheus carried proof that human ingenuity could achieve what other civilizations thought impossible. The ship's journey through the solar system served as its final shakedown cruise. Every system was tested and refined. The crew, each member selected from the world's elite, trained in scenarios that pushed the boundaries of known physics. They weren't just preparing for first contact, they were preparing to redefine what was possible. As the Prometheus approached the heliopause, the boundary where solar wind meets interstellar space, Admiral Martinez gathered his crew for one final address. "What we carry isn't just technology," he said, his voice firm. "We carry humanity's spirit of exploration, our relentless drive to push boundaries, and our unwillingness to accept artificial limitations. The Concordat expects to find students. Instead, they'll meet innovators who have already surpassed many of their assumptions about what's possible." The ship crossed the heliopause without a ripple, its quantum drive engaging for the first interstellar jump. In the command center back on Earth, the world's leaders watched with pride as humanity's greatest achievement embarked on its historic mission. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's potential knew no bounds. The journey, the void between stars, held no terror for the Prometheus or its crew. As the ship moved through interstellar space, it did so with a grace that defied its massive size. Its quantum drive created microscopic folds in space-time, allowing it to slip through the fabric of reality like a needle through silk. The journey provided time for the crew to fully appreciate the vessel they commanded. In the ship's central observatory, Dr. Chen studied the streams of data flowing from its sensors. The Prometheus didn't just observe space. It could see the quantum foam of reality itself, detecting patterns and possibilities that conventional science had only theorized about. The ship's eye, which the crew had taken to calling Atlas, continued to evolve. Its quantum consciousness expanded through the vessel's neural networks, learning and adapting with each passing moment. It could process information across multiple dimensions of space and time, giving it insights that sometimes seemed almost prescient. "We're detecting something unusual," Atlas announced one day, its holographic interface shimming with complex patterns. "There appears to be a network of quantum-entangled particles spanning this sector of space. They're artificial in origin." Admiral Martinez leaned forward in his command chair. "The Concordat's communication network." "No," Atlas replied. "These entanglements are far older. They appear to predate the Concordat by at least several million years." This discovery sparked intense discussion among the crew. Not only had they found evidence of ancient civilizations, but they detected it using technology that the Concordat apparently didn't possess. The implications were staggering. Humanity wasn't just catching up to galactic civilization. In some ways, they'd already surpassed it. As they traveled, the Prometheus encountered other surprises. They found regions of space where the laws of physics seemed to have been artificially modified, suggesting technologies far beyond even their own capabilities. They detected the remnants of vast megastructures, long abandoned, but still holding secrets about their creators. The ship's manufacturing centers worked continuously, analyzing these discoveries and incorporating new insights into its systems. The Prometheus wasn't just a vessel. It was a living laboratory, constantly evolving and improving itself. Its quantum core grew more stable and powerful, its probability fields became more sophisticated, and its ability to manipulate reality itself expanded. Commander Elena Rodriguez, the ship's tactical officer, worked with Atlas to develop new defensive capabilities. "We're not just preparing for first contact," she explained during a staff meeting. "We're preparing to defend humanity's right to chart its own course in the galaxy." The crew also spent time studying the Concordat's invitation message, analyzing every nuance and implication. The more they examined it, the more certain they became that humanity's approach was correct. The message's tone, its assumptions, and its very structure all suggested a civilization that had grown complacent in its perceived superiority. As they neared the designated meeting coordinates, Admiral Martinez called a final briefing. "We've learned more during this journey than we could have imagined," he said, looking at his assembled crew. "But our most important discovery is this. The galaxy is far more complex and mysterious than even the Concordat knows. Humanity isn't entering a completed puzzle. We're arriving just in time to help solve the greatest mysteries of existence." The Prometheus began its final approach, its systems running at peak efficiency. Its obsidian hull absorbed all light, making it appear like a moving void against the star-filled background. The quantum core hummed with potential, ready to demonstrate capabilities that would challenge the Concordat's understanding of physics itself. In the ship's observatory, Dr. Chen watched as the designated coordinates grew closer. "We're not just making first contact," she said softly. "We're announcing that humanity is ready to help lead the galaxy into a new age of discovery and innovation." The crew took their positions, each person aware that they were about to make history. The Prometheus moved silently through space, carrying not just humanity's gratings, but their unwavering determination to forge their own path among the stars. First contact. The coordinates provided by the Concordat marked a point in deep space, far from any stellar system. As the Prometheus approached, its quantum sensors detected the gathered alien fleet, a collection of vessels arranged in what was clearly meant to be an impressive display of power and authority. Atlas analyzed the alien ships instantly. "Their technology is advanced by conventional standards," the AI reported, "but their fundamental understanding of physics appears to be limited to what we would consider standard model mechanics. No quantum manipulation, no probability fields, No controlled singularities. Admiral Martinez nodded, studying the holographic display of the Concordat fleet. Their ships were sleek and elegant, clearly designed to project sophistication and technological advancement. But to eyes trained on the Prometheus, they seemed almost quaint. "Take us in," Martinez ordered. Standard emergence protocol. The Prometheus dropped its quantum fields for the first time since leaving Earth, allowing itself to be seen. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The massive human vessel simply appeared, its black hull absorbing all light, its very presence seeming to bend space around it. Next to the Concordat's carefully arranged fleet, it looked like a predator among prey. The alien vessels reacted with obvious surprise, their formation shifting as they attempted to adjust to the unexpected size and nature of the human ship. The Prometheus's sensors detected spikes in their power outputs and frantic communications between their vessels. "They're scanning us," Commander Rodriguez reported, a slight smile playing on her lips. "Their sensors can't penetrate our hull. They're getting no readings at all." The first communication from the Concordat came quickly, transmitted in what they clearly believed to be simplified language for a primitive species. Atlas translated it instantly. "Welcome, representatives of Earth. We are the Galactic Concordat, and we come to guide you into a new era of civilization." Admiral Martinez straightened in his chair. "Respond as planned," he ordered. The Prometheus's response was unlike anything the Concordat had ever encountered. Instead of a simple transmission, the ship projected a quantum-entangled communication field that encompassed the entire alien fleet. Within this field, information could be exchanged instantaneously, unrestricted by the speed of light. Through this medium, humanity delivered its message. "Greetings, Galactic Concordat. We appreciate your welcome, but we come not as students seeking guidance, but as equals ready to contribute to galactic civilization." The message continued, accompanied by carefully selected demonstrations of human capability. The Prometheus adjusted its quantum field, allowing brief glimpses of its true technological sophistication. The controlled singularities powering its drive, the probability fields protecting its hull, the quantum consciousness directing its operations. The Concordat's response was a mixture of shock, disbelief, and growing concern. Their follow-up messages became increasingly urgent, demanding explanations for technologies they had believed impossible. How had a young species achieved such advances? Who had helped them? What were their intentions? Admiral Martinez allowed himself a small smile as he ordered the next phase of their plan. The Prometheus began to share selected scientific insights, carefully chosen to demonstrate humanity's unique approach to understanding the universe, while holding back their most advanced discoveries. "We believe in cooperation and mutual advancement," Martinez transmitted. "But we also believe that true progress comes from challenging assumptions and pushing boundaries. Humanity is ready to join galactic civilization, but we will do so on our own terms." The impact was profound. The Concordat's carefully scripted first contact protocols crumbled in the face of a species that had independently developed technologies they had never imagined possible. Their assumptions about humanity's primitive nature were shattered, replaced by the realization that they faced something unprecedented. As the initial shock wore off, the true diplomatic discussions began. The Prometheus's crew engaged with Concordat representatives, sharing ideas and insights that would reshape galactic civilization. It became clear that humanity's greatest contribution might not be their advanced technology, but their innovative spirit and determination to challenge the impossible. New dawn. The aftermath of humanity's first contact rippled through galactic civilization like a shockwave. The Prometheus's appearance had done more than challenge the Concordat's assumptions. It had sparked a renaissance of scientific and philosophical thought throughout known space. Within days of the initial meeting, delegations from various Concordat species began arriving at the contact point. Each brought their own questions, theories, and proposals for cooperation. The Prometheus's quantum communication field became a forum for unprecedented exchange of ideas and knowledge. Dr. Chen found herself working with alien scientists who were simultaneously brilliant and humbled. "Your approach to quantum mechanics is revolutionary," a Concordat physicist admitted. "You've found paths we never considered possible." But it wasn't just humanity's technology that captured the Concordats' attention. Their spirit of innovation, their willingness to challenge established principles, and their determination to forge their own path became subjects of intense study and admiration. Atlas continued to evolve through these interactions, its quantum consciousness growing more sophisticated as it processed new perspectives and ideas. The AI's ability to bridge different species' thought patterns proved invaluable in fostering understanding between humanity and the Concordat. Admiral Martinez observed these developments with satisfaction. The Prometheus had achieved its primary mission, establishing humanity as a major force in galactic civilization, but had done so without resorting to threats or dominance. Instead, they had demonstrated leadership through innovation and cooperation. "We're receiving requests from 17 different species," Commander Rodriguez reported during a staff meeting. "They all want to establish direct diplomatic relations with Earth." The Concordat's traditional power structure is already beginning to shift. The changes weren't limited to diplomacy and science. Cultural exchange flourished as humanity shared its art, music, and literature with the galaxy. The human capacity for creativity and emotional expression fascinated many Concordat species, who had long prioritized logic and order over artistic pursuits. Back on Earth, preparations began for the next phase of human expansion into space. The Prometheus had shown the galaxy what humanity was capable of, but it was just the beginning. New ships were already under construction, each incorporating improvements inspired by their interactions with the Concordat. Dr. Chen stood in the observatory, watching as another delegation arrived for talks. "We didn't just make first contact," she said to Admiral Martinez. "We helped the galaxy make first contact with itself again. We reminded them that there's always more to discover, always new ways to look at the universe." The Admiral nodded, understanding the profound truth in her words. Humanity had entered the galactic stage, not as supplicants or students, but as innovators and catalysts for change. The Prometheus hadn't just carried human technology to the stars. It had carried human determination, creativity, and the unwavering belief that boundaries existed to be pushed. As the massive ship maintained its position among the gathered fleet, its obsidian hull still drinking in starlight, it stood as a symbol of humanity's promise to the galaxy. They would not be content to simply join existing power structures or accept conventional wisdom. Instead, they would help lead the galaxy into a new age of discovery and achievement. The dawn of this new era brought with it endless possibilities. Humanity had proven that the impossible was merely a challenge waiting to be overcome, that the boundaries of physics were more flexible than anyone had imagined, and that the greatest adventures in galactic history were still to come. Admiral Martinez sent one final message to Earth before the Prometheus began its journey home. First contact successful. Humanity has joined the galactic community not as followers, but as pioneers. The stars are no longer our destination. They're our starting point. The end.